Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today for a brand new pick a card reading. For anyone that's new to my channel, hello and welcome in. My name is Melissa, and today's pick a card reading is going to be focused all around self-love and self-care a little bit as well. So what I'm going to be looking at is just kind of what energies are coming through for you with regard to self-love. This is going to be a very empowering, sort of advice-based reading where we're going to just do a little check-in with self and see what we can do to make sure that we are showing up for ourselves and supporting ourselves and loving ourselves in the way that we need. So hopefully this is something you guys will find interesting. If so, definitely keep on watching. Let's go ahead and get into some disclaimers. First and foremost, always keep in mind this is a general reading, so some of the messages may resonate while other messages may not. As I always say, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Please do not allow a general YouTube reading to get you upset because it's not super specific to your situation. If you do want to book a personal reading with any reader out there, that's always going to get you the most accurate read on your own energy. And if you wanted to book one with me, all the details on how you can do that will be linked in the description box down below. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our pile selection. We're doing 3 piles today. Starting here on the left with pile 1, we have this Amazonite crystal. For pile 2, we're working with this rose quartz heart. And for pile 3, we're working with some spirit quartz. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about your self-love energy, how you can improve, what advice you need to know. Go ahead and select the crystal or the pile you're feeling the most intuitively connected to. And once you have made your choice, scroll down to the description box to locate the timestamp that will take you to your chosen pile. See you there. Hey pile 1, if you picked out this blue Amazonite crystal, this is going to be your self-love reading. So let's go ahead and get started. I have shuffled all of our most of our decks off camera already, but I do have one beautiful deck that I'm going to be using at the end to get some extra messages. So let's go ahead and get started with some oracles. So how can pile 1 promote more love of self into their life? Starting us off, we have spend time with animals. We have you are safe and protected. This is the root chakra. Ooh, and then we have lightning, which is talking about being in power. So it's definitely interesting, pile 1. It feels like for you guys, there's a need here to maybe support yourself more through some grounding practices, especially being over here with with both of these cards, with spending time with animals and the root chakra that's coming up here. I'm definitely getting that one thing that this group could do to make sure that they're loving self is go outside, get in nature. Nature is always very grounding. So like I know for me personally, when I've had issues with my root chakra, feeling a bit unstable in the past, just going outside for walks was super healing and soothing to me. And I think in tandem with this, animals are oftentimes like literally found in nature unless they're like our domesticated pets, right, that are in the house with us. But being able to connect with animals is definitely being highlighted as something that's very important for this group. So this could be the type of group where like maybe you're the type of person that prefers the company of animals to people, which is like totally normal. I feel like I hear people say that all the time. So maybe for some of you guys, this could be like going on walks with your pets, spending more time with your pets, getting out in nature and, observing wildlife, things like that. But connecting with animals, I feel, is something that is going to be very soothing for this group, very comforting to this group. There's a need with the root chakra being here. I think what this is highlighting is that maybe your foundation right now is lacking a little bit of support, pile number 1. Maybe some of you guys have been going through like a tough transition in life where your stability, your security, maybe your home life, your finances, things like that could be feeling a bit unsupportive to you right now or shaky right now. And so grounding practices are going to be really, really important. Even this little mantra, like this little affirmation, could be really good to say to yourself every day, like, I am safe and protected. I love affirmations. You guys may know that I have like a separate Instagram account just for affirmations, and I believe in them. I find them to be very, very helpful, and I usually like pick a few every morning that will help to support me with whatever energy I need for the day. And it's like giving yourself a little pep talk. You know what I mean? You guys also have power coming up here with lightning. So this is a really interesting energy to come up in a self-love reading, because what this is telling me is that you guys may have a lot more power over your situation than you think you do. You know, the lightning is like a force to be reckoned with. And you can kind of see here how like the lightning is really disrupting the water here. For some of you guys, this could be like referring to kind of like the opposite scenario for you. Like maybe the reason that your foundation isn't feeling as secure right now is because maybe there's been a situation that's sort of come in and like rocked the boat for you. And maybe you're identifying more with the water element here than the lightning element. But I still think that there's a need to kind of get grounded and get in tune with your own power. There is something I feel that you all could channel from this situation, if that makes sense, or be able to use to your advantage. This card is really interesting as well, because when you read the guidebook for it, this card really talks about how power can be used for good and evil, and to not get caught up in the notion of either one when you're taking action, right? Like, I feel like what this is saying is that there's a need for you, pile one, to kind of step into your own sense of power, take more power, step into your power with regard to your circumstances right now. And don't feel guilty about needing to strike if you need to, right? However that resonates for your situation. So let's go into the tarot next. So we have a Muse of Materials. This is the King of Pentacles. We have the Hierophant. We also have the Seven of Voices, which is the Seven of Swords. It's really interesting too, because both of these two cards show a path ahead, almost like a portal opening up for you. Pile number one, do you see that? It definitely seems like some of you guys that picked this pile may be on the verge of like a pretty major transition in your life, which kind of makes sense with the root chakra being highlighted here as being maybe something that needs soothing right now or balancing right now. Because when we move through these big transitions that can affect like the stability and security that we've known for so long, it's scary. You know, it can definitely cause a lot of fears and anxieties. I'm also seeing here nature again being highlighted. So getting out in nature is definitely being echoed through your tarot cards as well. So we're talking here about, again, self-love and how you can infuse more love of self into your life. So I'm going to kind of tell you how I'm reading these different cards that have come up for you. First thing I feel for you, pile one, is there's a need here to remain on path and not worry so much about what other people think or feel about the path you're headed towards. Specifically with the Seven of Swords coming up, you know, this card is definitely a card that has some light and shadow attributes to it, which kind of ties into this power thing that we were talking about with the lightning card. But the Seven of Swords is saying that there's a need for you guys to be maybe a little bit strategic about what you're doing right now for yourself in your life, for your stability, for your security. That we don't always have to tell everybody every little thing that we're up to. You know what I mean? And maybe for some of you guys, there's a path that you're going down right now or that you're desiring to go towards where you know that it might be a little outside of the norm, or it might be something where friends and family don't understand it fully. And so in order for you to be able to like confidently explore where you're going, sometimes it's better to sort of not say anything to other people about what you're doing, because you don't want those external voices to influence you one way or another. You want to just be able to move in silence and do what's good for you. Again, kind of like with the power energy, some would say, well, moving in silence is, you know, maybe not always a good thing, that we should be living our authentic life, right? Telling people the truth about what we're doing, what we're up to. But it all kind of depends on how you're looking at it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. So there's a need here to be a bit strategic, I feel, about how you're going about life right now with whatever your situation is. Again, I'm definitely getting that like going out in nature, spending time with animals, all that stuff is going to be really grounding and healing for you as well, very stabilizing for you. I think with the Muse of Materials coming up here, the King of Pentacles, this card is all about stability, security, like the root chakra, taking care of your responsibilities. So I think one thing that could be helpful for you all is starting to maybe come up with a plan on how you can feel more secure in your material realm. And it seems like you guys already have, because you're like walking toward the light here. So what are your responsibilities? Maybe identifying what those things are that you need to step to the plate to. And coming up with a plan that helps you feel like you are taking care of those responsibilities, or that sets you up for success to take care of those things, makes you feel empowered, like you're the authority on taking care of those things. And with the Hierophant card coming up here, for some of you guys, this could be talking about some sort of support system that you can lean on during this time as well. So I know we're talking about being strategic, right? But there could also be a need for you to connect with a mentor, connect with someone who can support you spiritually at this time. This could even just be you connecting in with your higher self, right? You practicing your own version of spirituality, whatever that is, to get you through this time, and leaning on that, leaning on your faith is coming through. So let's see, let's get a couple more oracles. We have you are invited, suit up, show up, and open up. Okay, interesting. And we have the unknown is your friend. Lean in to embrace what's next. That's what I'm getting. It's like, it definitely feels like you guys are on verge of something totally new and different. And it might feel a little scary. You know, new beginnings are definitely not always, I mean, depending on how you look at it, depending on what it is, it's just not always the easiest thing to transition into something new, from the familiar to the unfamiliar. But this is saying to lean in to embrace what's next. So instead of operating from a place of fear or anxiety, start to reframe the path forward as an adventure, right? Like, so instead of being like, oh, I'm scared and kind of shrinking back in the shadows, there's a need here to lean in and say, okay, this is a little scary, it's a little unknown, but it's an adventure. So think of like your favorite, I don't know, think of whoever your favorite character is in a book, in a movie, who goes on an adventure, right? For me, it's going to be the Lord of the Rings. Frodo is my favorite character. And like, he was scared. Sorry if I'm being nerdy, you guys, but remember like how they were all fighting over who's going to take the ring to Mordor, and little Frodo stands up and he's like, I'll just do it. And he had no idea what he was getting himself into, but he just started with that first courageous step saying, I'm going to do this. And he did it. And he had the support of his friends. So reframing, I think that like this adventure, this new beginning that you're going on is going to be just that, an adventure. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It might be a little scary. We don't have to avoid that it's scary, but reframe it so that you're not operating from a place of fear if you are. We have you are invited, suit up, show up, and open up. So this is really interesting. Like, this is talking about start to show up in the manner through which you want to be seen. Okay, so suit up. What are you going to wear that embodies this new path that you're going on? What's the energy you want to evoke as you move forward? And opening up, right? So we were talking about being strategic here. Maybe for some of you guys, this moving in silence is something that maybe to your detriment, right? It's a general reading, so it may be different for others, different people out there, but there is a need that's coming through here of opening up in some aspect, not being afraid to show who you really are as you move down this path. And you notice here how she's sort of like got her arm crossed over her chest a little bit here, a little bit of a closed off energy, but also kind of a relaxed energy at the same time. So there's a need to sort of spread your wings and fly a little bit, really embracing the new path forward. So this is a beautiful message, pile one. We're going to close out with just one or two more cards from the Archer's Answers Oracle deck. This was created by my friend Erica. So we're just going to see what any other kind of general info is that you might need to know about your self-love right now. So what else does pile one need to know about self-love right now? We have it's coming. So something's coming. This new beginning is coming. This new start is coming. Better days are coming. Whatever you're wanting is coming. So rest assured, it is coming. All right. We also have further off in time. So this is sort of like making me feel like maybe some of you guys are wanting something to come into your life right now, or maybe there's like a sense of impatience. And this is just to reassure you that, yeah, it will be there. It is on the way. It may be further off in time than you realize. So now's a really good time to, now's a really good time to first reevaluate, make sure that whatever you're desiring is in fact what you want, but also prepare, showing up for yourself by preparing for whatever this is that you want to accomplish, and knowing and having faith with the Hierophant card that it's happening further off in time. But you have to start somewhere. You have to step into the adventure. If you don't step into the adventure, it's going to come later than you want. All right, so pile 1, we are going to go ahead and close the reading, but I would love to hear from you how you feel like it resonates with your situation. So drop me a note below. Let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you will be notified when I upload new videos. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye. Hey, pile number 2, if you guys picked out the rose quartz heart, this is going to be your self-love reading. So let's do a little check-in and see what needs your attention with regard to self-love. So we're going to start with some oracles, and then we'll get into tarot and more oracles. We have a lot to cover. So starting us off, we have the message of use your hands. Ooh. We have try something new. And we have the river movement. So beautiful. So it feels like the way you guys may want to show up in self-love for self more. That was like really redundant how I said that, but it seems like what's being asked of you is to start taking action, start moving. I already feel for a lot of you guys with the river card coming up that maybe something has already started moving along in your life. You've already been feeling some sort of movement. Maybe you've already been feeling some sort of call towards something new and different. And perhaps for some of you, there has been a little bit of resistance to this. Perhaps, maybe not all. The message with the river is that we want to flow in the direction of the river, flow toward the light. So flow toward what it is that you're being called to, and don't resist change, right? The more that you resist the upstream of the river, the harder it's going to be for you. So there's a need to kind of embrace movement, embrace change, and start to try new things. You have the solar plexus being highlighted here. So this is all about like your life force energy, like the way that you step into your own personal power, the way you show up with courage and confidence and stamina. And with try something new being highlighted here, there is a need for you guys to get out there and either generally try new things, try a new way of doing something in your life. There's either way, newness is change, right? And sometimes change can be scary. Sometimes when we're putting ourselves into new situations, we may shrink back because we feel like, oh, I've never done this before. I don't know anyone here, right? But this is talking about the need to kind of put yourself out there to try new things, try a new way of doing something, and don't resist the changes that you're being called to make in your life. You also have use your hands. So again, I'm getting more of this like active movement that's needed from you guys. So something you guys may do just like as a one-off that might make you feel really good is to like make something, do crafts, do something with your hands. Again, movement, taking action, more generally speaking. Some of you guys may be guided to actually like create something that feels artistic or create something that feels useful to you on your journey. For some of you guys, this new thing you might be trying is like, I don't know, a business venture or something that you're being called to where you're making something for others. There's a lot of scenarios that are coming through, but using your hands and doing practical, tangible work, something where you can really see like the final product in front of you is being highlighted. So moving into the tarot, we have a 7 of Pentacles, the Fool, so more new beginning energy, and we have the 3 of Voices. So yeah, which is the Three of Swords, by the way. So yeah, you guys, like the Fool, there, I keep seeing like the light coming up, and there's light here as well. You guys have definitely, there's a need here to move toward the light. There's definitely something that is being shown to you that it's going to be really important for you to move towards whatever this is. So again, it's going to be different for everyone out there, or it may just be more general around like just in general needing to make some sort of change in your life, move in a new direction. But the Fool is definitely also echoing the message of new beginnings and trying something new, like taking a leap of faith. You know, the Fool energy is about kind of going into new things with a beginner's mindset, with a novice mindset. It's sort of an energy of like, you don't know what you don't know. So you're just going into it really carefree and excited to be there and optimistic. And there's nothing to be afraid of because you don't know the situation. So you don't know what there is to be afraid of. You know what I mean? So just going into trying new things or this new situation in general with sort of an open, optimistic mindset is going to be really important. I also think too with the Seven of Materials, you notice how there's a path here? Hold on, let's pull this up closer so we can see. Yeah, it's like there's more energy of new beginnings and paths and things like that. But the Seven of Pentacles is all about like getting started, maybe sometimes getting up to a certain point, but feeling a little impatient, right? So maybe feeling like we're not sure or we're reevaluating something that we've already put some effort into. You know, there may be some amount of reevaluation that you guys are guided to do at this time, but I also think that it's going to be important for you to exercise patience with yourself. Take it slow. Don't expect full-blown transformation and change completely overnight, because now's the time where you are working on planting seeds and watering them so that they can grow for whatever this is that you're moving towards in self-love. Being patient with yourself, being meticulous with the work you're doing, but being excited about it at the same time. I definitely think with the Three of Swords coming up here, this is not a coincidence that it's coming up here underneath of the solar plexus energy, because if we look at this figure in the card, it's like there's a door right behind them. And there's like, they're just shrink up, closed off around the stomach, curled up in the fetal position in fear and sadness, right? So this could be kind of further echoing the message of self-confidence needing to kind of be worked on right now. You know, and there could be very good reason why you guys are having these feelings of hesitation or reticence around new beginnings and trying new things. Like maybe you have been hurt in the past. Maybe you are afraid of, like, when I'm really being drawn to these eyes, it's like they're in a lot of pain. There's a lot of tears. Maybe there's a little bit of a fear of other people kind of seeing the real you or seeing whatever sad experiences that you've been through, even though you may not show it, right? Maybe there's a fear of being seen is kind of what I'm getting from this. And that is sort of a thing when our solar plexus is out of alignment. Sometimes that can result in a fear of being seen, a fear of being in the spotlight, a fear of being noticed, a fear of like looking out of place or kind of weird. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel this Three of Voices, the Three of Swords, is talking about here. But it's like the way I see this card is if she was able to get up, turn around, and open this door, you have no idea what kind of blessings could be just beyond, right? So let's continue. We have discover your superpower. Access 100% of your mojo. Okay. Love that. We also have stand up and be recognized. Behold, you are the inspiration you've been looking for. Yes, you guys. There's a need from the self-love perspective to get comfortable with being seen, to get comfortable with being in the spotlight. Don't shrink back into the shadows out of fear, because maybe you feel like you don't belong or you're too new to this or whatever. Like, you clearly have some sort of a gift that you're meant to share with the world, pile 2. And there is a need to let people see what that is. Maybe for some of you, you're still with the Seven of Pentacles discovering or reassessing, like, what is the thing that I want to do? What is my superpower? You know, that could be what the Seven of Pentacles is also talking about. Like, you're being guided forward toward movement, toward the light, but maybe there's a reassessment of what does this look like for me? What is the thing that I want to bring to this new adventure? Access 100% of your mojo, right? Discover your superpower. So there may be a little bit of self-exploration for you guys during this time as well. That could be very healing. Even just like writing down in a journal, like, what are all the things that you feel really good at? This could be a great self-love exercise. Like, write down in a journal, what are my superpowers? What are all the awesome things that I can bring to the table? What are the things that people ask me to do for them? What are the things that people lean on me for? You know, those are going to be the things that are your superpower. A lot of times other people will see it in us before we see it in ourselves. And, you know, again, this is just echoing the need to get comfortable with being in the spotlight. Stand up and be recognized. You are the inspiration you've been looking for. You're your own cheerleader first, pile 2, right? But I feel like there's this potential for a lot of people to really admire you. And maybe this is the case now, but you're just not even really seeing it. I feel like you already are someone who's really admired and recognized, but maybe there's a fear of totally showing and exposing that or receiving that energy, or you're maybe not seeing or noticing this. But you are the inspiration you've been looking for. So this is also kind of talking about looking within for inspiration, not needing to necessarily go outside of self to get that confidence boost or that validation, because you can give it to yourself. So let's see. We're going to close out your reading, pile 2, with just a few cards from the Archer's Answers Oracle deck. This is by my friend Erica. Let's go ahead and see what comes through for pile 2. What else does pile 2 need to know about their self-love right now? We have live your life. That caught my eye. Just feels like you guys are needing to like get out there, get moving, you know, like do some fun stuff. Be carefree. Let's see what else comes through though. Okay. Pile 2. What do they need to know about self-love? This or next month. So you guys have a time-based message coming up. So maybe some of you guys are waiting for something to happen or have been manifesting something or looking for a sign. Let's see. We also have do your research. Okay. That makes sense with the 7 of Pentacles. Yeah. So it's like, and then we have do it at the bottom. So more action is definitely being asked of you from a self-love perspective right now, pile 2. I feel like this could be a time frame of when something could come in for you, but I'm also thinking this is a time frame of when you're being asked to get started. Like this might not necessarily be waiting for something to happen. For some of you, it might just be like this or next month is the time to get moving with this and do your research. So kind of makes sense with that 7 of Pentacles and the discover your power. It's time to look within and do your research and figure out what is the thing that's your superpower? What is the direction you want to go? What is the thing that you can kind of bring to the table with whatever this is in your situation? And then just do it. So, pile 2, this is really beautiful. I would love to hear from you in the comments what you feel this is referring to with regard to self-love and how you feel like it's resonating. So please drop me a comment below and let me know. If you guys are not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so that you will be notified when I upload new videos. And I do look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye. Hey, pile 3, if you guys picked out this beautiful spirit quartz, this is going to be your self-love message. So let's go ahead and see what's coming through for you for self-love. I'm going to start with some oracles and then just kind of progress with a few more cards. So for pile number 3, we have flow like water. We have calm your mind. This is the third eye chakra. And we have music, harmony. Beautiful cards. So overwhelmingly, pile 3, what I feel for you initially, you are being guided at this time to sort of lean back and just go with the flow a little bit. Release the need to control anything. Release the need for things to fit into specific boundaries or parameters. and just immerse yourself and flow. I also feel with this energy of like calming your mind, being next to the water, it's like there's a need for you guys to like tap into your intuition and let your intuition guide you a little bit better. Because with something like with water, you know, there's not always a clear path. The water's not always crystal clear. We can't always see through it, right? We don't know how deep it is. We don't know how far it's going. And that can definitely cause a little bit of fear within, you know, when we can't clearly see where we're going, or maybe we're feeling some emotions about it that are a little bit uncomfortable. But instinctually, you will be able to figure it out through listening to your intuition and your gut instincts. So calming the mind of any fears, of anxieties. The third eye is also about clear seeing, right? Being able to trust that what we're experiencing and what we're seeing is the truth, and not having to obsess over it or wonder about it or get a ton of like tarot readings about it, or no shade. We've all been there. Things like that. It's like just being so in tune with self and so in harmony with self that you can't be bothered by anything, because it's like you trust yourself. You have that relationship with yourself. You're able to feel it and see it for what it truly is and trust yourself right away. You know what I mean? So trust in self is going to be really important for you from a self-love perspective. You guys may do well with meditation practices right now. Maybe spending time near water could be good for you as well from a self-love perspective, a self-care perspective. And you guys also have music coming up. So literally, like, for this group, I'm getting a message too about like being mindful of the type of music you're listening to, because believe it or not, it can make a pretty major impact on like how you feel, the energy of music. So there's a lot of really amazing music out there. And I just can tell you from experience, and maybe some of you guys have experienced this as well, that like depending on the lyrics in the songs, the vibe of the music, even though it might be a good, catchy song, you always have to remember that words are spells in a sense. I know, like my friend Erica always says that, words are spells. So like think about what you're singing and ask yourself if this is the spell you want to speak into the world, into the universe. You know what I mean? So there could be something to be mindful of for some of you guys out there about what's the music you're listening to, and is it aligned with who you are and who you're becoming in your life. Now, this card is also just talking about harmony as well. Right? We have two people here playing their instruments, and they're just so immersed in the beautiful like harmony that they're creating. So this is also speaking to seeking harmony within self, calming the mind, right? Releasing any of those fears and anxieties, but then I think also being able to harmonize with others. I feel like for a lot of you guys, there's a need to really, with partnerships, there's a need to really immerse yourselves in the experience of the partnership versus like ruminating or feeling anxious about someone's intentions or wondering what the outcome is going to be, right? A lot of times if I see the third eye being blocked, this is like when we are worrying more about the future and what might happen instead of living in the present moment and focusing on the beautiful harmony and the music that we're creating metaphorically with someone. So this is interesting. Let's continue. And of course, you guys get the Two of Cups. So there is something here about partnerships coming up. We also have the Eight of Inspiration, which is the Eight of Wands. And we have, this is the Muse of Inspiration. This is the King of Wands. So you guys have a lot of fire energy here, and you have more water. Because we have more water here, it's like, again, now we have one person here in the water. Now we have two people here in the water. I feel like for you guys from a self-love perspective, right now, what's being highlighted is the need to like, again, immerse yourself in your connections. This doesn't always mean romance, okay? This can be friendships, family, whatever connection is coming to mind for you. But immerse yourself in the connection and experience it for what it is. Flow with how it's going, you know, and allow your intuition to navigate the right direction forward. You know, again, water is something that's kind of like boundaryless in a sense. It just flows. You know what I mean? Think of some of the, you know, natural disasters that we see with water and how the ocean just spills over into our communities, no matter like what type of bridge is up or what kind of barriers are up. It always finds a way to spill over. So I think, again, there's a need here to not worry so much right now, not always, but right now, there's a need to not worry as much about the framework or the structure or the outcome, the label, whatever, and just flow with the connection and ask yourself, like, are my connections really in sync with me on an emotional level? What's the harmony that I'm creating with these people? What kind of music are we creating? Is it beautiful, harmonious, lovely music? Or is it bad music? You know what I mean? Is it music that's out of harmony? The only way that you can really tune into that is through really immersing yourself in what's going on in the connection and really trusting yourself about what it is that you're experiencing, whether it's positive or negative, right? You have to kind of release that control over what might happen or what you want to happen so that you can really see it and experience it for what it is. Okay. What else? So you guys also, it's interesting, you have a lot of fire and water coming up in your reading. So both of these cards here are highlighting the fire element. So let me see for a second. Self-love for pile 3. I definitely think that something else that's kind of being highlighted in this reading is the idea of taking inspired action as well with both of these cards, with the Eight of Wands and the King of Wands. Being the leader within the action that you want to take in your life. And, you know, fire energy is also our passion energy, right? So what are your passions? Maybe for some of you, music is a passion, and that's why music is coming up in your self-love. This could all be referring to music for some of you, but you know, it's like, what are the things that you feel passionate about in life, and how are you taking the lead on going after those things? Maybe for some of you, traveling could be a great self-love practice right now. I'm also noticing you have 2 full moons here coming up, and the moon is also our emotions, very similarly to water. Maybe for some of you guys, there's an energy here of like your passions really influencing your emotions. So there's a need to kind of check in and ask yourself, am I doing the things I love enough in this life? Am I having enough fun in my life? Am I on path to create more excitement and fun in my life? Yeah, it just definitely feels like there's more, like you have a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like duality. Like there's a duality to this reading, pile 3, because it's like on one hand, there's this very like emotional sort of like go with the flow, like water energy. But then on the other hand, there's like this energy of passion and movement as well. So it's very interesting. Let's see. We have attune to the call. Tune in and turn on. Okay. Love this. We also have the return. Own your mastery. Almost looks, I can't tell if that's a moon or not. It's very abstract, but cool. So I feel like, again, you know, with the third eye coming up, you guys may already I feel like you guys already know intuitively, like, whatever it is that you're wanting to know, like, whether it's about a relationship or relationships in your life or something else going on. To me, this is talking about, like, owning your power, that you guys already have this gift of clear seeing, you know, clairvoyance or whatever, like being able to actually see the situation, see people, see relationships clearly as they are. But there's a need to trust that your intuition is guiding you in the right direction here. So own your mastery. A lot of you guys may have already learned a lesson around this with the third eye and your intuition. So when situations return to test you, own your mastery. You've already learned this lesson. Tune in and turn on, right? So tuning into self, tuning into your connections, and then turning on with the fire, right? Attune to the call. So listening to what your intuition is telling you, and then acting, taking action, moving in alignment with what you know is the truth. If you're tuning in and there's a connection that feels like it's wrong for you, turn on and move away from it. Step into that power and move away from it, right? On the flip side, you tune in and this is like beautiful, harmonious music. Let's take action, right? So this is really interesting, pile 3. We're going to close it out with just a couple more cards. This is the Archer's Answers Oracle by my friend Erica. So we're going to just do, see just like what other messages you guys need to know about self-love right now. And then we'll close it out. So what else does pile 3 need to know about their self-love journey right now? Yes, just a matter of time. So there's something that's happening for you in just a matter of time. Movement, a connection, something that is confirming something for you, pile 3. Okay, we also have don't do it. That's really making a lot of sense with what we're talking about with like the return, own your mastery and your intuition. Like, I think that this is just saying that your third eye is not deceiving you. Like, you guys know when something is a no, and it's okay to say no and to not do it. But you need to experience and make sure, you know, before you take that action. You guys also have at the bottom of the deck in your winter season with psychic knowledge. So it's like, and then you have it's coming underneath here. So again, like this winter coming up could be a significant time frame for you where your psychic knowledge is going to be, your third eye is going to be tested again. So pile 3 looks really interesting. I would love to hear from you how you feel like this is resonating with your situation. So please drop me a comment below and let me know. If you guys are not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so that you will be notified when I upload new videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.